Today on the channel, we continue the Age of the Primes with leader class Megatronus the Fallen on Way I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? Way I Got It Figured, back with another Transformers Age of the Primes review. This time, we've jumped up to leader class, and we're looking at the highly anticipated, very hot Megatronus the Fallen. So in the 13 original Transformers, Megatronus the Fallen goes by many names, but he has existed sort of before all of the other ones. So not editorially speaking, but canonically speaking. He originally appeared in Dreamweave's Age of Wrath comic book series way back in the day, early 2000s. And then in 2009, I guess it was, when Revenge of the Fallen came out, he was put into the Michael Bay movies, and the whole idea of the primes and all this stuff started to evolve. And he's finally gotten a figure, in mainline that is, a fully realized Transformers figure. So we are definitely going to take a look at him, and I expect him to be a great figure. So of course he's in the new packaging, Age of the Primes. You got the window box back, and some artwork of both modes on the front. Got his steps to convert there, 38 steps. On the side, you got the artwork there. And you got some of the primes. On the back, you've got his renders, and of course, looks really cool. He's got his infamous Requiem blaster. They point out here. I'm pretty sure that says Requiem blaster in Cybertronian. And I want to say that I do feel like these boxes are really cool. They're a lot of fun. You got his little symbol there. That's his particular symbol. They all have it. Yeah. I like the new boxes. They're nice and simple, but at the same time, they convey all the information. I think they've done a really good job with that. But we're not going to keep talking about the package. We're going to get this guy out and see what we can see. We have the mighty Megatronus out of the package with all of his accessories. And he does come with quite a few things. His Requiem blaster, which is not attached to him in the box. I went ahead and put it on his arm because I just feel like it completes the look. And we have a pretty substantial, pretty beefy leader class figure. Very well engineered. I'm already pretty thrilled with this guy. Can't wait to get him interacting with some other figures. It's just a really nice figure at the leader class price point. So we recently got word we're going to get Big Convoy next year, and some people think he should be a commander class, but he's going to be leader class. And I will point to this figure as the possibility of getting a leader class figure that's substantial and can do what you need it to do and everything, that perhaps we can get a big convoy that's going to be a really good figure. That's kind of how I see it. Obviously, time will tell, but we're going to look into this guy. Worry about big convoy later. So his look is, pretty awesome. He is every bit the fallen from. He is every bit the fallen from Transformers: The Dark Ages, way back in the day, in Dreamwave, but obviously with an updated look to today, giving them all the sensibilities of the 13 and all the lore that's been added since then. And you know, I just think he looks great. Can't say enough about this guy so far. So for weapons, of course, he's got like a spear. It's pretty cool. It looks like it even has a blast effect tip on it. So we're gonna check that out. I can't get it to fit. It's too wide. So you can as long as you don't try to use the really flared out one, you can get a blast effect on there. That's kind of cool. Nice and unexpected. Then you got a sword. And you've got this barrel, which I guess is for the tank mode. I guess you could stick it on there, but I don't know. I kind of would like the way it looks like that, so I guess I'll only use this for the tank. Unfortunately, there's nowhere that I can see there where you can store it, so that's sort of a bummer a little bit. And then you've got the creme de la creme, these flame effects that go on him in order to give that look of, as a character, he's supposed to be like, so powerful. His power is so barely contained that flames emit from his body. And so, that's kind of his deal. He's super duper uber powerful. So getting an up close look at him, just people say sometimes the lore says his face inspired the Decepticons, but his face doesn't really look like the Decepticon symbol. I don't know why. The Decepticon symbol is actually supposed to be it's an image of Soundwave, just like the Autobot symbol is based on Prowl. So I mean, you can always retcon anything, but he just doesn't look like the Decepticon symbol to me. So I don't know, but whatever. That's supposedly um, that. He is very well articulated. You can do some pretty cool stuff with him. Full modern figure articulation, which is really really nice. His hands open, and you can turn his wrists and everything like that. That's pretty good up and down motion on the head. So, he's very well put together. Looks really good. I'm not going to go through the pose test that some other reviewers do. You kind of get the point. But he has, like I said, the full range of action figure articulation, which is another point in the favor of perhaps Big Convoy coming next year. Which you probably can already tell I'm very excited about as well. So with that, we're going to get him geared up. All right, so we got old Megatronus geared up with his flame effects. And I'm borrowing the flame effect from Transmetal 2 Megatron leader class figure, because I just think it looks cooler there. And yeah, he looks great. I mean, I just think this figure is awesome. There's nothing not good about it. I neglected to mention he's got his Prime symbol on the top of the Requiem blaster. Requiem blaster being a weapon so powerful that a Transformer is unknown to be able to survive it if it's hit directly. Sort of like a super duper fusion cannon made by Solus Prime, who has a tragic history that coincides with the Fallen. We've got Megatronus, the Fallen, in vehicle mode. He transforms into a space tank, I guess you want to call it, which is not exactly what they had him transform into originally, but it is almost the same. When he was just the Fallen way back in Transformers: The Dark Ages in Dreamwave. So this vehicle mode is riffing off of that for sure, and it's pretty cool. And of course, I've got his little fire effects on him, and then I've got the blast effect from Dragon Megatron on there, just to show that a blast effect can go in there, and it does look cool. It goes along with the rest of the fire. It does roll nicely. You do have that going for it. The turret does not swivel. You're not going to get that because of the pegs and everything that hold it in. He's just sort of shooting straight. So he's not really going to be able to do much from the side, but just to get a good look at him on, from all the angles. You have there, you got the little rocket launcher there. Got his back section here. But it is a nice vehicle, you can make him shoot up. Sorry, you can do that. It's really supposed to be sort of like tab down, but you can do that without compromising it. So we can shoot things down. But that's pretty much it. There's not really any play features to speak of beyond that. So we'll get the Fallen transformed back into robot mode and get to some comparisons. All right, so obviously we've got the other primes: Solus Prime, Vector Prime, Prima Prime, and of course Alpha Trion. We are going to be getting an all new Alpha Trion, and whenever we get the full reveal of them, I'll decide whether or not I'm going to get another Alpha Trion. But I am, super happy with the one from Legacy. However, if there's one that's updated to look more like these guys, then I might get them. I mean, it's Alpha Trion. I don't like necessarily the idea that he turns into a lion or something, but I may just never have him transform. I don't know. We'll see. Well, there you go. There's the primes. Here he is with Bumblebee, Studio Series 86. Here he is alongside Earthrise Optimus Prime. Of course, he towers over him. Not quite as big as a Dinobot, but pretty substantially large. Here he is with the Reactivate Optimus Prime. They're still larger than him, but not quite as large, obviously. Last but not least, Studio Series 86 Optimus, and he is slightly taller than him. No matter how you cut it, he's a pretty substantial bot. All right, that's going to do it for comparisons. We can move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on Transformers Age of the Primes Leader Class Megatronus the Fallen. Hasbro really pulled out all the stops on this guy. They didn't really skimp out on anything. You know, this is as quality a figure as you're likely to get this year. It's already, in my opinion, in the running for the figure of the year. Obviously, it could get beat out by the HasLab, but I didn't get the HasLab, so I don't know if that's going to happen. But so far, in a field of great figures, all the primes are pretty awesome. He definitely stands at the top, and as well as he should. He's a leader class figure. But you know, as it is, this is definitely a 10 figure. It's a 10. If you can get this guy, you should get them. They've shown up in Target. They're now showing up in Walmart. I actually saw one today. So you have every chance to get this guy. And if you're a Transformers fan, you should get him. So there you go. That concludes the Transformers Age of the Prime figures so far that I've gotten. I plan to get. So that's the entire wave 1 minus the animated Waspinator, which I'm just not gonna buy. So you know, he's definitely the capstone of those figures. Hopefully, I can get back to doing some stop motion soon, and put him in one. I certainly wanna get this guy moving around a bit. All right, that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We're steadily moving up, and I want to keep, you know, delivering the goods for you guys. You know, action figures are my passion, so I'm going to keep going. And I love Transformers most of all, so there's that. Till next time, everybody stay safe, happy collecting. See you on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.